So I haven't had a chance to sit down and record one of these videos in a while, just time strapped and everything, but I've had a lot on my mind and everything. If you're watching from anywhere in the US, I'm sure you know of this eclipse that's supposed to happen tomorrow that NASA's supposed to be shooting at for whatever reason. And I'm sure you've seen these videos of everybody with these signs they're taking away from it. So two things that brings to my mind, and one is if you think there's a sign telling you to get right with the Lord and get right with God, it is. God works through so many ways and through so many things that if you're taking away the fact that I may need to get right with God from anything, it's definitely a sign to get right with God. So I suggest you do that. Something else that it brings to mind, though, is that, we're, as a society, so caught up and subconsciously addicted to this fear-mongering that when something's going on, we're paying attention and we're all on edge and we're all in that focus mode and thinking about these things. But when it's a normal day and everything's good and everything great is going on and we should be thanking God for all this stuff that we got and still be focused on God, we tend to lose focus and stuff. People look for the negativity, unfortunately, these days, and that's where they decide to focus subconsciously. So with all these signs that we're having, do I think we're in the end times? Most likely. We're definitely closer to it than the last generation. If it's the end of the world, we're getting closer instead of farther. But all these signs are going on. Say everything calms down. Everything is calm, good, everything for 70 years. And I feel like there is potentially going to be a lot of fools that will say, oh, I remember when people were saying there were signs of God coming back and there were biblical signs and this, that, and the other. And nothing ever happened. So, I don't know about all that. Let me tell y'all something. We're on God's time, okay? One of the first things I learned about God when I was very, very young, fortunately I was brought up in a church upbringing and religious upbringing, and a pastor told me when I was very young, he said, our human minds cannot comprehend the mind of God. So, with that being said, 7 minutes to us may be 7 days to God, vice versa. 700 years to God may be 7,000 years to us. We don't know. And because God is just resting on a different level than us. He's on his own level, and our goal is to join him up there eventually. Or my goal is anyhow. But we're not there yet. And so we have to stay humble as mortal beings and trust him, and that's part of the test of faith. So with all these signs and stuff, and y'all are all on edge, I want y'all to remember that and carry that with you daily. So shout out to a friend of mine on Facebook that posted this verse the other day that I wanted to pull up for y'all. Starting with Matthew 24:36. But of that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven nor the Son, but the Father alone. For the coming of the Son of Man will be just like the days of Noah. For as in those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered the ark. And they did not understand until the flood came and took them all away. So will the coming of the Son of Man be. Then there will be 2 men in the field, one will be taken and one will be left. 2 women will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken and one will be left. Therefore be on alert, for you do not know which day your Lord is coming. But be sure of this, that if the head of the house had known at what time of the night the thief was coming, he would have been on the alert and would not allowed his house to be broken into. For this reason you must also be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour when you do not think he will. So, I guess the message of all this is, don't ignore these signs. Pay attention to all these signs going on in the world. Use that as reassurance if you need to, whatever you have to take away from it. But you can't be living out of line with God and thinking that you're going to be okay just because you think you know a general time frame. Don't do that. I see so many people that are knowingly living wrong because they justify these lifestyles or whatever, by oh, that's just my natural instinct, that's how I'd move, and God created me this way. No, it's the test of life. God created you this way with good potential, but we're mortal beings on an earth plagued by the devil. So naturally you have temptation, you have this pull in the way that you should not be going. And if you're not fighting that, then you're gonna be SOL when this time comes. So live daily the way that you should, and none of us are without sin. And you're not supposed to be. That we're not designed that way. Nobody's perfect but God. But put that effort forth every moment of every day, and then relax, and then don't worry about what's coming next month, next year, next hour, next minute, next day, when for some reason NASA wants to shoot at the moon and sun as they cross paths. That's their business. I'm not stressing it. We got that stuff going on in Switzerland or Sweden or wherever it is. They're doing that again on the same day. I'm not stressing it because I'm far from perfect, and for all I know, maybe I won't make it to heaven. But I hope and pray that I do, and I put effort forth that I do. And I communicate with God in ways that we're not gonna discuss here because that's between me and God. So I have this relationship with God, and that I try to work on the daily. So why would I be stressing all this stuff going on in the world that I cannot change? Like I said, it says you will not know the hour, the minute, the day. And let me pull this back up here. It says, for this reason, you also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour when you do not think he will. Go back, it says, therefore be on the alert, for you do not know which day the Lord is coming. So to translate into prison terms, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Sleep with your boots on. Spiritual boots. I hope y'all have a great day. Rest of your day.